G'day guys, this is a short intro today. I'm going to be giving you guys a commentary and a guide to Antoran High Command. It's basically the third or fourth boss in Antorus, the Burning Throne. To give you guys my opinion on the fight, how you can min-max DPS. So let's get straight into it. But before we do, talents and my gear for the fight. In the fight, you're going to see I have 957 item level. I'm running 2-set, not 4-set, and unfortunately, I do not have any optimal trinkets for the fight, so my DPS does suffer a bit, but nonetheless, I think I was running Fell Oil and Scourge Wing, or I replaced Scourge Wing with my Engine of Eradication. I'm pretty sure I did that. But yeah, unfortunately, I haven't got 4-set yet, but I'm still rocking Shoulders and Chest for the fight. A few DKs are running the Bursting Swords Ring, but I just don't think it's beneficial enough with how quickly ads die now that people are getting geared. So yeah, honestly, ads dying too fast, you're better off just focusing on single target DPS, which is what is really important in the end, is the amount of damage done to the boss in that fight. So for the fight, you're going to see, for the logs, I got a 92 percentile overall, and yeah, not the best, guys, not one of my best fights. I do really need to get my hands on some decent cleave trinkets, but let's get right into the video. And guys, and here we are. So starting off with the pool. Now the ads are going to spawn as soon as you start the boss, about like 6 seconds. But you want to really focus on getting your DA out. That's more important than cleaving the ads. For the first set of ads, honestly, just virulent plague them. You could pop down D&D and do cleave, but I think it's more important to get your DA primed and ready. Try and get that massive DA. Now we don't actually last until the last pod basically, and I'll explain what that means when we get there. But getting a decent AoE for the start of this fight, I think I'd do a 32 million DA. That's alright, nothing too great, but yeah. So every time the ads will spawn, your D&D will be up. Now it's up to your tanks and melee DPS how well they can stun the ads and how well they actually will stay in cleave range. Now as you can see, the shock troopers, they charge and do blade storm. If your tank's really good, they can taunt them or try and pull them back into range, mass death grip, stuff like that. But you do lose a lot of your cleave potential when they do that charge. Now that's the bad thing about Unholy for this fight, is if your group can try and lock the melee or the ads down on the boss, you will get better DPS in general. Now you want to try and avoid the mines. I popped that mine. Sometimes it's okay to pop a mine, but you got to be very careful. Like, you're doing a lot of damage to the raid, but you can pop with AMS, but remember, your other melee friends and tanks will be getting hit, so best is to avoid them all. In general, I was not assigned to a pod in this fight, but it can possibly happen to you. But I think I'll make a separate video what happens if you're in the pod, but you shouldn't really get picked to go in the pod. There's much better classes that can do a better job in the pod anyway. And okay, so on to the next part. Again, the ads are still coming out when your D&D is up, so there's no really... It lines up well, and in the second and third pods, your range is kind of stacked, so they do tend to stay in cleave range a lot more, so you can kind of get a lot more DPS out in that case. But that's pretty much the fight, guys. It's a single target, and then the ads spawn, and then you want to try your best to actually just try and get as much cleave as you can. That is how you're going to get a higher rank in this fight, just by how well your group stops the ads from charging out to your raid, and how long you can keep them in melee range of the boss. That's pretty much it, guys. Like, yeah, you just got to try and cycle through your D&Ds and just hope that you can keep the ads in range. Always reapply Virulent Plague on the boss when the ads spawn, because it should spread to the ad. You don't have to like using Virulent Plague twice, you know what I mean, guys? So yeah, got my second DA off, did some okay damage, but we're going to be popping Lust on the next pod. So as you can see, the boss is dying pretty quickly, and we should be heading over to the next pod soon. But yeah, again, D&D's up again for the ads coming out, and you want to kind of save your runes as well. Like, rune management's important for when the ads do spawn, so you can spam as many Scourge Strikes as you can. That's very important as well. So boss goes to the last, well, not the last, but pretty much second last pod, and this is where we're going to look into pop Lust just in a minute, actually in the next like 40 seconds. So I've already DA'd twice this fight, guys. You will be able to DA 3 times, and as DPS increases, you should always be able to get that third DA off. It should be always possible. And that third DA, you want to make sure you're lining up with your lust. Now, I don't know where most groups lust, but I think most people will save lust for the end. A lot of groups probably just start popping lust at the beginning, but this is the phase where a lot of shit's going on with the pods and a lot of damage going out, so groups tend to lust here. But yeah, you're going to see lust go out in a sec. I get a pretty fat DA. I think I get a 52 million DA in this, but yeah, try and stay in this, guys. You can probably pop AMS and get away with some of the damage it does, but you want to try and stay in this orb for as long as you can. So I Apocalypse there, DA's up in 2 seconds, ads are spawning in 2 seconds. I will prioritize killing the boss over the ads, and yep, so just focusing on getting my DA up here, sitting around the 4th DPS, but yeah, I just don't, there's not much cleave in this pod, sorry, but the last pod the ads do spawn again, but yeah. So let's see what kind of DA I get. It's going to be a 52 million, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 53. Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. 56 million DA, guys. That's a pretty big DA. That's expected of Lust. Got some decent RNG. And now we're on to the final pod. Now, as groups get more and more DPS, he won't even be able to get to this pod, man. It's going to be like, you'll spend like 10 seconds on this pod, to be honest. So, add spawn, pop down D&D. We still have Lust for 12 seconds or so. So, yeah, take advantage of that. Use as many Skirt Strikes as you can. And that is pretty much the fight, guys. If you guys want to add anything to the video that you think would help, yeah, it's a pretty straightforward fight, and that's expected because it's one of the first fights that you get entering into the raid, so nothing too crazy. But hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Let me know how Unholy is going for you guys. I'm really enjoying it. Hoping to get 4-piece next week. I was unlucky this week. Wasn't able to attend some raids, but next week we're hoping. And hopefully get my hands on Amethyst. For Christ's sake, that trinket is not dropping. Or a Kazgarov. Just give me anything, mate. But otherwise, guys, stay unholy. And keep a lookout on my social media. MFWest, WoW, Facebook and Twitter. You can follow me there, guys. Look everything unholy. If you want to support the channel, Patreon donations, link it down below in the description. And thanks for the support, guys. Have a good one. Peace. MFWest out.